Hi, Internet family. It's Stepford Escapee, aka Karen. I know it's been a really long time since I have made a video of myself just talking to everyone. Um, but I've been thinking about restarting. I don't even know if that's the right term to use. Um, this channel, since it's been about 13 years since I've been to Kingdom Hall. I considered myself one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So, again, to reintroduce myself, my name is Karen. I use the moniker Stepford Escapee to signify my escape from the quote-unquote cult. I don't know how many of you out there are familiar with the movie Stepford Wives, but in my purview, being a Jehovah's Witness was like living in Stepford. So that's where the name came from. At this point in my life, I am considered a senior. I hit the big 6-0 this year. I consider myself an ex-JW, and as mentioned before, I am post Watchtower 13 years. Almost 14 years. Wow. Yeah, the last meeting I went to, or the last time I stepped into a Kingdom Hall, was in 2012. So, the reason I initially started the channel was because I felt like I was going to explode. I had so much going on inside that I felt I couldn't put out, that I needed an outlet. And so that's why I started the channel. I had been watching in secret other XJW channels, but I decided to just start one so I could talk, because I had made a couple of attempts to talk to a couple of people. One was a disfellowship friend, and the other one was one of my brothers. Didn't go off too well with either one. So yeah, I use this channel as my therapy and as a sounding board, just to discuss what I was going through. And it helped. I mean, I met quite a few people. And because of my channel, I got to attend an XJW picnic event in Pennsylvania, where I met a lot of people. It's how I ended up moving out to California, because I made friends with another XJW online, and then she invited me to come out to California, and they let me stay with them. So I stayed with them for like my first year out here before trekking out on my own. Now, I had no intention of staying in California as long as I did. Had every intention of moving back east. Actually, I wanted to move back to Florida, because even though I wasn't born and raised in Florida, for some reason my time in Florida started to feel like home. And it could be because that's also where I started to wake up. But I'm out here in California, and because of finances, I'm still stuck out here. Besides, even though I want to go back to Florida, I wouldn't go back to Florida now, not with the current government that's in Florida. They would have to get rid of them, especially that governor. And it's not because he's a Republican governor, because when I lived in Florida, there was we were under a Republican governor. But this dude is totally off his rocker. So until they get rid of him, I wouldn't go back there. But anyway, we're not here to talk politics. So, and I have an outline that I'm trying to follow here. So, why did I stop the channel or stop recording? I really don't know. I just think I got kind of caught up in life out here, trying to make ends meet, because it is freaking expensive out here in California. I don't know how anybody does it. I mean, I had a brief stint of being homeless. I mean, you know, I was stayed with one person that I'm made friends with, and that didn't, in the end, that didn't really work out. And I was basically sleeping in the garage of a coworker, but for all intents and purposes, I was homeless because I did actually sleep in my car a few nights, and that's no fun at all. Eventually, I did find some place to stay, but it's just a room in an old motel that was put up in the 40s. I think it was 1944 it was built, and it seems like they haven't upgraded it since then. I have no kitchen, nothing. It's just a room. And so I've just basically been overwhelmed with trying to keep a roof over my head. Plus, you know, I was watching a lot. I was still watching, and still to this day, depending on who it is, I watch some of the XJW content online, and I see most of them, and a lot of them seem like they're successful, you know, financially they're doing okay. And I just started to feel like, what do I have to contribute? I don't have anything to contribute. I didn't seem to start making all this money and seem to be what the world considers a success. No, I mean, I'm struggling every day to make ends meet. In the time since I've left, I have degenerative disease in my lower spine, so I can barely walk. It's like my legs just don't want to work. I use a walker to get around, but even that's becoming difficult. I have had 3 cancer surgeries. So medical bills up the wazoo. I mean, I had to zero out 2 401ks to pay most of the balance off that I still owed, and the final balance I had trouble paying, so it's in collection with the state of California. I tried to go to school, but when I saw the amount of student loans racking up, I stopped. So now I'm trying to pay those back. I was doing okay, and I wasn't behind on those until Orange Mussolini got into office and got rid of Joe Biden's plan. Now, mind you, unlike some people who weren't paying at all, I was still paying mine, but I wasn't behind because it was a reasonable amount. But when he got in office, the program ended, and my monthly amount went up times 5, and I can't. And now, the first time in 18 years paying on those, I'm behind. My rent has went up several times, but not my salary. No raises. So, I am not doing that well. I'm basically just surviving. So I felt like, why would I come on here? I had nothing to really encourage anybody with. You know, not compared to the other creators. So that was another reason why I stopped. Because I just felt like I had nothing to contribute, nothing to share. And who would want to listen to me? So, yeah. But, let's see. What else do I have written here? Oh, about the other creators. You know, I'm not where I wanted to be in life. My goal, this is while I was still a witness, was that I would get married. I always wanted to have 6 boys. Don't ask me why. Obviously, I was crazy out of my head. Didn't know what I was thinking, but I always was going to have 6 boys and be a mom. None of that happened. So, even while I was still witness, I didn't really have the life that I wanted. So, yeah. So, right now, I'm just a 60-year-old black female living in fascist America, just trying to survive best I can. Now, with all that being said, would I go back to the organization? Hell no. No. Because even though I don't have the life I want, I'm struggling in life. The one thing that I do have now is my mind. I am no longer mind fucked by that organization. I get to think for myself, make my own decisions, even if they're not always good ones, but they're mine. I'm not living to constantly please other people, to please an organization, to please an invisible person that may or may not exist, because that's miserable. I do still have remnants of being a part of that organization. For instance, the people pleasing. I still feel like I got to do that. Not to the extent that it used to be, but it's still in there. The feeling like I need to be perfect, that nothing I do is ever good enough, that is big time still lingers in there. And for me, that's a part of my DNA. So being a Jehovah's Witness just exacerbated it and made it 10 times worse. Because with them, nothing is ever enough. Nothing is ever enough. Even when I was a pioneer, I pioneered for 5 years, and I still felt like nothing I did was enough. So that's still with me, even though I've been out. Another thing I have to deal with is still angry, because I feel like nearly 40 years of my life was stolen from me. And I can't ever get that back. So I'm still fighting with the anger. Unfortunately, I can't afford therapy, so I just have to deal with it. You know? It's my life, and I have to deal with whatever the best way I can with the current circumstances that I have. So anyway, in conclusion, I'm hoping that this is going to be the first video in the restart of the channel. I have a problem with consistency, because I'm a serious procrastinator. Because once again, if it's not perfect, then I don't want to do it. And I don't have confidence in myself that anybody would really care anyway. Because I'm not one of these ex-witnesses that's successful and beautiful, and it's not me. I'm just regular old Jane out here trying my best to survive in this world. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll have another video up in the next 7 days. I think what I would go into next is how I even ended up in the world of JWs. Because I don't think I ever really explained that in any of my videos previously. So that's what I'll do. I'll have to work on my outline on what I'm going to discuss so I don't go off on tangents. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.